GRIDLIFE Touring Cup returns to Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course for the second time, just a month after the rumble and roar of GLTC shook Chicagoland, where Aaron Lichty and Andy Smedgard traded paint for wins. This week, we're in Lexington, Ohio for round 4. In the middle of a worldwide pandemic and in the middle of Ohio, we found a balance somehow that allows us to still enjoy the sport of auto racing. Even though the season began just months ago in Austin, it feels like it's been a decade since we've had any kind of normalcy. And through it all, in the middle of an ongoing storm of chaos, confusion, and cancellation, GRIDLIFE prevails. This morning, GRIDLIFE Touring Cup returns to Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, the winding 2.26-mile 13-turn road course for the 4th round of the season. We're back with GRIDLIFE Live for 2020 thanks to an enormous effort by everybody here at GRIDLIFE, and we're about to roll for race number 1 of the weekend. My name's Kyle Heyer. I'm joined by Nick Starter this morning for GLTC at Mid-Ohio, and we've got a barn burner coming. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're so glad to be back in 2020, Nick, but again, conditions have been tricky all morning long. We've got damp conditions that are still sort of drying. But these conditions might not represent what we're going to see in the top 10 shootout later today, and it might not represent what we see in race 2 later this afternoon.
Yeah, this is going to be a good race because the track is drying out, so there's going to be a decent amount of grip out there, but the drivers are still going to have to be careful and try and find where there is grip and where there isn't. But all these top drivers up front in this race are going to make it a really good one to watch.
We're in Lexington, Ohio this morning in Richland County. Population about 5,000 people. Town was founded in 1812. The track in 1962. It's an FAA Grade 2 circuit. The race lap record here, Simon Pagenaud, 2016 IndyCar, 103.87. We're not going to do quite that today, but I can tell you it's going to be just as exciting. This track has hosted IndyCar, IMSA, NASCAR, Trans Am, Stadium Super Trucks, F4, ARCA, ARX, AMAs, everything. Everything that could race here has raced here, including GRIDLIFE Touring Cup. And this is the site of the first ever GLTC race a year ago back in April. And it put on a good show back then. We had a stream back then.
Fantastic show.
And we get to do it all over again today. I was not here last year, but I'm here now, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be amazing. I cannot wait. I've got goosebumps, actually.
So if you're wondering what GRIDLIFE Touring Cup is, well, it's basically a brand new take on wheel-to-wheel racing with an open time attack style rule set, power-to-weight modifiers to keep everyone equal, and you can pretty much enter anything you want. We've got a starting grid for you, slightly modified because Luke McGrew in the number 5 NC Miata, he qualified 3rd, was leading a practice race yesterday. The motor expired on the backside of the course. He's done for the weekend, which is super unfortunate, but he would have been starting in 3rd. But on the front row today, it's going to be Aaron Lichty in the number 190 out of the winning Formula Camp, right alongside Eric Cattell in the number 82 Honda Civic. In row number 2, it's going to be DJ Alessandrini in the number 61. He'll start 3rd, right alongside Emil Tab in 4th in the number 14. That's another winning Formula car. Pervez Randelia, Rob Manicheri going to line up behind them, along with Scott Bowling, Ryan Kristoff, Justin Kelly, and Eric Meadows rounding out your top 10. 11th place starter Woody Hyman was very impressive this morning in the practice race in mixed conditions. I would expect him to go forward. And also, we want to talk about Tom O'Gorman, who has raced professionally in IMSA, in Michelin Pilot Challenge, as well as in SRO America's TC World Challenge America. He's a champion in that series. He's raced in GLTC before, and he's been competitive in GLTC before, but now he's in his own race car. It's a bright yellow S2000. It'll be starting in 12th. You can't miss it. It's got Tom Blue on it. You can't miss it. Starting in 12th. I think Tom's car is a little overweight for the class today. But if it rains later, that car is going to be fast.
And he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. I agree.
Other cars coming from deeper in the field. I think Jake Price started on pole for one of the races at Autobahn. He'll be starting 15th. Ben Dozman ran 3rd or 4th in the practice race this morning, so he will start 14th. So again, there's a lot of cars moving forward in the grid. I don't see a lot of people that I think are going to go backwards. We're heading through Thunder Valley now into the carousel on our pace lap. All GLTC races this weekend will start on the back straightaway at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. So we're going to be doubling up here in just a moment. Talk about the racetrack a little bit again. I mentioned it's 2.26 miles. We're going to reference a couple names and corners around this place. Turn 2 is a 180-degree right-hand corner. That's called the keyhole. Turn 4 is where we're going to end up, or it'll be our first corner for the start of the race. Over there is a big old gravel trap. They call that China Beach, but that's not a beach you want to visit today. Then down through turn 6, 7, and 8, that's called the S's. It's also called hurry downs. That's a very sweeping, elevated section that kind of drops away from you. Then through turn 9, right-hander, into Thunder Valley on the backside of the course, up the hill towards the carousel. So if we reference those places, that's where we're going to be this afternoon. Thanks again for joining us here on Grid Life Live. My name is Kyle Heyer, joined by Nick Sarter, as we've got Grid Life action, Touring Cup racing from Mid-Ohio.
Side by side, they've lined up, coming into the keyhole, getting ready for the start. They're starting to form up. Should be an exciting one into turn 4, into China Beach.
Heading down through the keyhole. The next time they see this corner, they'll be heading about 120 miles an hour into the braking zone. But patience now, waiting to get past the kink to see the green flag from the starter stand. It's all about to begin for Grid Life Touring Cup race number 1. We've got 4 races this weekend. We've got 2 today and 2 tomorrow, so make sure you're tuning in to catch all of that live on Grid Life's Facebook and YouTube channel.
Don't forget the top 10 shootout. That's going to be one to watch. Can't miss that one.
That'll be coming up at 2:40 today. Field lined up, double wide, a bunch of rows deep, over 35 cars as the green flag flies, and we're racing in Grid Life Touring Cup race number 1 from Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. And everybody's going to be thundering down into turn number 4. Big dive by DJ Alessandrini and his Honda Civic on the brakes.
That was a heck of a pass for the lead there.
And really brave. He ran the practice race earlier, so he was confident. He's through. Catil to second. Lichty was on pole. He's back to 4th already. Hyman comes up around the outside as they dive down turn number 6. Now singling on through, Eric Catil has found the bumper of Alessandrini as they head now through hurry downs. There's the 14 of Emil Tab right behind Hyman. There's Justin Kelly side by side with the Porsche Cayman of Scott Bowling. Double wide Bill Griffin on the outside of Tiffany Kelly. There's Adam Jabay out there in the 75. The mastermind of this series out there running it himself as well.
With his Lambo doors. We talked about it earlier. I just love those doors. Alessandrini got a good lead over Coutil going into the carousel now, coming out of Thunder Valley.
And again, I think everyone's going to get braver as this race goes on. But DJ Alessandrini said to me earlier this weekend that he thinks he can win a race. He thinks that car is capable. He fixed a broken hub last night, and he is leading this race, comes across the line to start the first full-time lap. Eric Catil in second. Aaron Lichty 3rd, Hyman 4th, Emil Tab 5th, Rob Manicherry 6th, Pervez Randelia. Ryan Christoph is back in GLTC action for the first time since last June at Grid Life Midwest. Bill Griffin's in the middle of a big traffic jam on the front straight, but now towards the keyhole. Alessandrini's 2006 Civic Si leads into the field.
He's got quite a lead over Catil now. It's he's definitely showing that he can win this race.
Now out of the keyhole, feeding in the power. And again, both these front cars are actually, the front 2 cars are front-wheel drive. Aaron Lichty and Woody Hyman's cars are rear-wheel drive, and so is Emil Tab. So a good mix of front and rear wheel in this field. But again, I feel like the front-wheel drive cars will have a little bit of an advantage just in the uncertain parts of the track where it's not totally dry. Everyone's going to be on slicks right now.
Coming over Madness, that'll getting back on the power. That's an advantage for the front-wheel drive cars, and they really are pulling away. Got Lichty trying to catch up to Catil, probably about a second or so back right now. We'll wait for them to come across the timing loop and confirm that.
Emil Tab working over Woody Hyman in the BMW M3 down through turn number 6. You see that there as he pops out, drifts out all the way to the edge of the curbing. Now you see them using a little bit of the curbing here, so it must be dry enough that they feel confident. Tom O'Gorman, remember, he started 12th. He came across the line at 8th, so he's already up 4 spots. That yellow number 94 is going to be flying here. And Andrew Work in the bright orange Civic is charging through the field right in front of Sally McNulty and Tiffany Kelly. They're having a good midfield fight right now. That's about for 17th spot. So there's going to be fights. First, there's going to be fights for 15th. There'll be fight for 30th. They're all going to be good. Across the line for the first official time lap, DJ Alessandrini across the line. About a half a second back is going to be Eric Catil. 0.609 before Aaron Lichty comes across the line. 3rd, and a good fight behind Justin Kelly's red FRS as he comes out of the final corner. Scott Bowling in the 722 has got Ben Dozman in the number 0 RSX up the inside for turn number 1. We'll see if he can complete that pass down there if they're going to run side by side.
Gaggle car is now coming across the front straight, trying to make some passes coming out of the carousel.
But it's still Alessandrini. Cool, collected, and tidy. He's got new rotors on that car, new hub on the left rear. That car is going to be very hard to beat with him out front. The rest of the field feeding on through. I mentioned Justin Kelly. He's put a little bit of a gap there on Ryan Kristoff, who's got a Honda CRX out there that's built like an LMP1 car. It's got amazing clips on the nose. The whole thing comes apart.
Off.
It's beautifully done. But look at Katil closing on the brakes now into turn number 4. He's closed that gap. Now, Katil has done something interesting. He deleted the brake booster in this car because he wanted a more firm pedal feel, and he does not have ABS. DJ Alessandrini has ABS in that car. And now you're going to see those two different versions of technology battling against each other in two very different generations of Honda Civic.
Absolutely. Katil trying to find DJ Alessandrini's rear bumper, getting really close, trying to push him through, but I think we might see an attempt at a pass here soon.
Yeah, and Katil is a very aggressive race car driver. He's very experienced. He's got some of the most starts that we've seen in this series. He's also got the second most wins in the series as well, so he's been around the block a few times and chasing Alessandrini. Now the question is, does Alessandrini's motor have the power it needs? It's a K20 versus a K24 that would be in Eric Katil's car. Katil's got the headlights on. The last time he did that at Gingerman because he said it looked cool. And you know what? That's GLTC is about looking cool, about having good racing. So for the lead, they come across the line this time through, and it's still about 0.6 seconds between those two drivers. And Eric Katil out of Columbus, Ohio. That's a 92 Civic Si. And in 25 starts, he's got 8 wins to his name. But DJ Alessandrini, however, even though he has not won a race yet, he has one of the best average finishes in GRIDLIFE Touring Cup action. DJ has 21 starts, 6 podiums, an 80% top five percentage, and his average finish 3.95.
And I think if you look at his online racing record, it shows that he is a very, very capable driver.
Well, that's sort of where he harkens from, and he spends a lot of time on iRacing, and that's where he spent a lot of the spring. And he got back in this race car, and he's right back at it. But Katil is hounding him through madness as they head down the hill. And Katil's car is also very small compared to DJ's. He's going to disappear. Like DJ's car feels like a pickup truck in comparison to the Civic behind him. But watch out for Aaron Lichty, winningest driver in GLTC, hunting them down.
He is.
And I honestly, taking a look at Aaron Lichty, he ran 1:36.833, which is right on par. But the quickest car last lap by was Katil in second place.
Yeah, Katil maintaining a consistent 0.6 seconds from DJ coming across the line. But I think we're going to see here soon they are nose to tail.
Yeah, and Katil, again, that car is so well balanced, and it actually loves to turn. And I've heard Tom O'Gorman describe it. It actually turns more on throttle, which is not a characteristic you expected of a front-wheel drive car, but he is hounding the back of DJ into turn number 1. He is so close there. That was a 1:36.057 for Katil. It was not the fastest lap. Lichty just ran the fastest lap. It's going to be a 3-horse fight here shortly.
It will be.
Out of turn number 1 now, the drag race down towards the keyhole. Katil following in Alessandrini's footsteps here. That leading Civic is going to be like a refrigerator in the air. It's going to push all the air out of the way and leave the slipstream for Katil to slot into. Going to help his car work a little less hard and close that gap. He's going to have a run here down into turn 4.
Yeah, you can see, I think DJ's car's got a little bit more power as they're really able to, well, I take that back. It looks like Eric's going to look to the inside maybe.
Yeah, I think DJ's car, against a K20 versus a K24, I think it sort of dies at the high end where, or at least compared to Katil's car, but into the braking zone for 4.
Katil closing the gap a little bit into China Beach.
1 car length is all it is right now in GLTC. We're about 6 minutes into this 15-minute race. Big slide by DJ through madness as he comes over the crest. The front tires begging for mercy on the asphalt, but Katil's right there behind him. Less than a half a car length back as they head through hurry downs.
DJ having to use all of the track, all of the curb to try and keep Eric behind him.
And now we wait. Aaron Lichty continues to charge forward. He was a full half second faster than DJ Alessandrini last time by. Look at those two leaders. But the car behind them with the orange, black, and white, that's the one that we're going to keep an eye on because he's going to sneak in here and try to steal this all away as we approach the halfway point in GLTC race number 1.
I think we're going to see Eric so focused on DJ that we might see Lichty just pop out and surprise him.
They come on through the final corner, about halfway through this race now. Katil still right there behind him as they come across the start-finish line.
Lichty closing the gap to 1.3 back to Katil now, so 7/10 he made up on that last lap.
He's building confidence. I think he started out after the practice race earlier today. I don't think he was super confident in the track conditions. He is now. He is closing that battle. Lap traffic, that's the Coletti Motorsports car, the 97 that's had a couple issues this weekend. He's going to stay well out of the way as the leaders dive onto the inside.
We can see as they come up to the keyhole, Katil checking his brakes, make sure he's got brake pressure before that giant braking zone slowing from 120 miles an hour down to about 50 or so.
The gap is pretty constant. We've got a great battle back here. Jake Jorenstad in 14th, right onto the front straightaway. The RSX of Jeremy Boysen ran a little bit wide off into the grass on the rumble strip, but now Sally McNulty to the inside of Jorenstad, down in the inside of turn number 1, and they're going to come on through, and I think McNulty might have been able to complete that pass.
Alessandrini getting a bit of a run out of the keyhole on Coutil, but Coutil's car really, really excels in these back sections, all the way from China Beach all the way to the exit of Thunder Valley.
It really seems like that middle sector is where the strength is for that car, and DJ, it seems like he's a little bit better through this final sector where he's gaining all his time back. But Lichty's, he's right there, man.
He's
closing
all
in.
Sectors, yeah, and I think it's working to DJ's advantage, because that's the part where it's easy to keep somebody behind you back in that sector too.
And now it is officially a 3-horse race in GRIDLIFE Touring Cup. You know, these are the juggernauts of GLTC, the ones that you expect. But DJ has not run a GLTC race since Road America, or actually I think he was at Fall Special last year. So it's been, he has not had this car out on track yet in a race condition this year. But he's out here leading this race, and Coutil and Lichty. Now, Coutil's job just got a lot harder because he's got Alessandrini right in front of him. That's where his focus has been. Now he's got to look out the mirror too and mirror drive a little bit.
Lichty purple again, 135.189 that lap. So he is just now 0.5 of a second back from Coutil. Coutil's got to manage 2 people now in addition to himself and his car.
And into lap traffic as well. That's going to be a big factor here as they head into the keyhole. You can see a handful of cars right up the road. In the past, it really hasn't been a huge deal. The lap traffic has been very considerate, but this is not an easy track to pass. It's not point and shoot.
Nope.
So you're going to have to get creative here as Alessandrini is going to get a tow and then step out to the right and get on by. About 5 car lengths now. Coutil, again, seems like this is his best sector, but he did drop off a little bit this time. They're running out of time. About 5 minutes to go in this race, and through the lap traffic, they're going to dive.
Lichty going to get the short end of the stick here, going to get stuck behind at least a lap car, but they're going to be courteous and let him by.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Going to let that 3-horse race continue as they go into the back S's.
Coutil's front tires slid about 3 feet longitudinally through that corner. He was trying to get grip, but look at that. Through turn 6, a great run for Eric Coutil, trying to run right up to the back tailpipes of DJ Alessandrini through hurry downs. They're going to pop back into view, heading up through Thunder Valley, and then we're going to only have a few laps left in this race, and now Coutil's going to have to get real serious. If he wants to get by Alessandrini, it's going to happen soon. Coming up over the crest. It's still a pretty constant lead. I think Alessandrini's done a good job defending.
He has.
And the question becomes, is Aaron Lichty going to be aggressive enough to get by Coutil? Because if Lichty can get by Coutil, he can get by Alessandrini. Big slide for Alessandrini, real tight on the turn 12 exit curb. Now across the line. Still no white flags, so we're going to keep racing. 1, 2, 3, evenly spaced, about a half a second apart each as they come across. Emil Tab back and forth, a long ways back. He's got his hands full with a teammate. That's Rob Manicherry. Going to look to the inside for turn number 1, potentially with Pervez Randilia behind him. So a great 3-way fight with a winning Formula Camp guys as they work their way through turn number 1.
That last lap by for the top 3, they were all within 0.03 of a second. DJ Alessandrini, 136.06. Coutil, 136.08. Lichty, 136.09.
Yeah, so they're in order of their speed, but again, I think the lap traffic had something to say about that. So into the braking zone for turn 4. Lichty continues to close on Eric Coutil for second place. Lichty started on pole for this race, lost it all in turn 1, being too careful. You cannot be too careful today because you're going to lose. And that's what Aaron Lichty learned for race 1. He won't make that mistake again in race 2. Big slide by Alessandrini through turn 5, and he had the rear tire step out on him, and Coutil's right there, right on the bumper, about a half a car length back.
Coutil's trying to wait for the right mistake from DJ to really capitalize.
Up over the crest into hurry downs now. Coutil is a very calculated race car driver. He's very skilled. He will put that car in a hole that is 3 feet too small, and he will make it work because that car is small enough where he can put it anywhere he needs to put it, and he's good at it, and he will do it. The question is, will he have the time? There's a little bit of traffic in front of him. I think that's just Lee's 33. Traffic 3 wide as they come on through into the carousel, and Alessandrini had to hold him off, but he will. What a move to hang on to that spot as they work their way through the lap traffic. 3 wide through Thunder Valley. You don't do that, and they just did. 1, 2, 3. Here comes Lichty up the inside on the front straight. Drag race to turn number 1. Real tight. Aaron Lichty, the most wins in GLTC. He needs to grab one more spot to grab this one as well. It is white flag, 1 lap to go for Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Big slide at the exit of turn 1. Lichty and Coutil almost slamming doors.
Drag race. Coutil able to hold on to that spot. What an amazing drive from Coutil going up into the keyhole. Manages to keep Lichty behind him.
But all is over for Alessandrini. He's gone. And these two are fighting. That's let DJ get out ahead. How close was that as they came through, though? DJ did an amazing job sensing where he needed to place the car so that he'd be set up for the carousel.
They all did an amazing job, and you're right. DJ's gonna. That's the top step of the podium sealed for the most part, and now it's just up to Lechty to try and get that second step.
Into the braking zone for turn number 4. Alessandrini's almost home free. He can taste it. He's never won a GridLife Touring Cup race before. This could be his first. Behind him, a big slide by Eric Catil, driving the tires over the curbs. Big jump, airborne, as Lichty tries to grab him. He's going to have a look up the inside of 6. Not a good spot to dive there.
Nope.
Now through hurry downs, they're going to disappear out of our vision. Catil trying to hang on to second, where he started this race. This is a home track for both Alessandrini and Catil. They've had countless laps here, countless laps of practicing, testing, working on their cars all winter long. And for DJ Alessandrini, it might just pay off. One last run up the hill towards the carousel. Alessandrini, from the sim racing background, autocross in his career, still loves doing that. But GridLife Touring Cup a year ago was the site of Alessandrini's first race, along with the first race of the series. But today, for DJ Alessandrini, race 1 of GridLife Touring Cup at Mid-Ohio goes to DJ Alessandrini, his first ever GridLife Touring Cup career victory. Eric Catil back in second, and Aaron Lichty into third. What a great race out there at the front.
What an amazing race.
Big slide by Rob Mancheri. Woo, he hung on to it. He'll grab, I think, 5th spot. But he was about half sideways coming out.
That was scary. I thought he was going to hit the grass and not come out of that very well.
Oh, he hit it. I think it was just he managed to get it under control. Behind him, there's Woody Hyman and Ryan Christoph.
Woody Hyman actually driving Manicheri's old car.
Yes, and I'm a little bit surprised. Hyman comes on through. He finishes 7th. I'm a little surprised we didn't see him run a little higher up
I
the
am
grid.
too. I thought after his performance this morning that we surely would have seen him at the top. But still a good drive from him and good battles all the way through the field.
For Tom O'Gorman, his first career top 10 in his own race car in GridLife Touring Cup. And I'm really excited to see where he's going to be, because you know what this means? That means Tom O'Gorman is in the top 10 shootout at 2:40 this afternoon. So remember, the top 10 finishers on that order are going to run at 2:40 p.m. today. Each of those drivers will get one lap all to themselves with all the cameras on them, and we're going to watch them run every bit of that car they can into the ground to try to get the fastest lap, because that will set the grid, at least the top 10, for race number 2 at 4:50 later today. So the rest of the field comes across the line. We'll run down the rest of the order. Eric Meadows in 11th. Justin Kelly in the S2000 powered FRS comes home in 12th. Sally McNulty, great run for her. 13th place, up 5 spots for Sally from 18th starting position. Jake Jornstad, 14th. Jeremy Boys in 15th. Bill Griffin back in 16th. Tiffany Kelly 17th. James Berlin in 18th. Andrew Work 19th. Brad Kosiba in 20th. Adam Jabay up 3 spots. 21st run for him. That's a pretty good run. Ben Dozman down 10. So I wonder if he had something happen.
He had an off and did some grass mowing.
Okay, so he mowed some grass and lost 10 spots. Working for a lawn care business might make you some money, right?
It's right. In Mid-Ohio, the bill.
Scott Robertson, 23rd in his MX-5. Wes Penn, 24th. Justin Lee in 25th. Robert McDaniels, 26th. Dusty Michael, Clayton Fitzpatrick, Paul Spencer, Justin Deffenbaugh, Jorge Ortiz, the rest of the grid here. Brad Adams looks like, I'm not sure if he ended up taking the green flag, but he has scored 33rd, down 8 spots.
He did take the grid. I'm concerned that he's still continuing to have issues. I know we had issues yesterday with the car overheating, and we thought we had it figured out, or he thought he had it figured out, and I guess not. Really disappointing to not see Brad out on track.
So DJ, with his first career win in GridLife Touring Cup at his home track, that's got to be exciting. And it took him about 22 starts to get that done. But it tells you, if you work hard and you put the work in to fix your car, to get it up to the standards that you need and get your driving to the standard it needs, you can go out there and win a race and beat the best.
Yes, yeah, and he's definitely done that. All the time that he's put in on the simulator definitely shows. You can't just come out as a not know how to drive and win a race. And he's definitely put so much time and effort into his driving.
He's won a handful of competitions in iRacing. Most recently, the Spec MX-5 Sim Racing Challenge. He was at Road Atlanta last week testing that car, right up to pace. He's an amazing driver, a really good dude, so I'm excited to celebrate with him later today. But Catil, Lichty, those two drivers are the juggernauts of this series. DJ just beat them. So I think these three are going to be the players all weekend if it's dry. But again, top 10 shootout. If it's wet, which it probably will be. Tom O'Gorman in the 94 is the one to watch. Falcon driver, got Auto Assets on board helping him out as well. So Tomo is going to be a lot of fun to watch.
And we can't forget about Woody Hyman.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see a lot from him in the wet, as evidenced by the race earlier today.